Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Hey, Mama Mia. Hey, I'm glad to see you often. It's nice seeing you here, Mama Mia. Because I know our timing being in Australia sometimes. Oh, it's supposed to be a compliment. I'm just saying I'm glad to have you here. Angel, what's up? Happy coffee. Cheers, everybody. I just got my fresh cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. Donna, your cat's missing? What? No, is this a cat that you let out? Like is it like an outside cat that you let out and it comes back? Everybody pray. Oh. Whoa, how do you say your name? I. Hey Gina. Hi Jocelyn. Oh, so it just got out. It's not an outside cat. Does it have its claws? Is it declawed? See, that worries me more because if it was an outside cat, then it would be more familiar with how to get back and stuff. I don't know. We'll pray. Hi, Gina. Hi, Jocelyn. How are you? I made meaning to reach out. Is everything okay with you? Steph and Callie, Mr. M. Okay, so guess who contacted me? Um, the fiance. So he contacted me. Now I did like the interview off camera because he didn't want to go on camera. Or he didn't want to do like an official interview to come on because he said he had read some of the comments from the last live and they were kind of scary to him and a lot of hate, which you know, uh I don't know. But yeah, so he said, I'm willing to answer any questions, just ask me. So I took notes. We started off by email and then I actually talked to him on the phone today and asked some more questions. So I'm gonna start off. I did it in two different things. I started off by doing one where what he said in the emails. And then when I talked to him on the phone, I was kind of typing out notes from just some of the questions I was asking him on the phone. So I did get the right guy. So I can say 100%. I was 95%. I got the right guy, but now I'm 100%. Got the right guy. So yeah, let's just go into the notes. Let me take another sip of my coffee though. Well, Donna, good. It has its claws still. How long has it been gone? Did you say? Hi, Julia. Oh, hi from Newfoundland. Wow. Nice to have you. Oh, Mamma Mia, that's nice. Okay. So let me just start off by here. Let me share my screen first. Let me share the picture of him. So if you guys didn't see my last live, you could get a picture of who, what he looks like. I always like to visualize, and I know there's a lot of people like me, like it's easier to like just kind of visualize. I don't know why, like seeing what somebody looks like and then hearing about what they say, I'm able to understand it better because I could visualize it. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably are the same way as me. So that's why I tend to usually share a picture first because I just know how I need to do it in my head. um okay, so look what's up. Oh, this is my screensaver. Okay. So here is we'll start with his GoFundMe because that's the one that has a current picture of him, the most current one. So he is doing a GoFundMe. He does have stage 4 liver disease, so that he said he's not on dialysis yet, but I'll go over all the stuff that he said. But just since I'm showing the GoFundMe, um, he's 60-year old. He did lose his cat the 13th to kidney. No, I said liver. Kidney. His was dialysis for kidney. Sorry, it was the cat that had liver failure. I have the exactly what was wrong with him in my notes, but something wrong with his liver. But he said his cat was probably like 14 or 15 years old. So it was Ali is his name, but he He lost him the 13th of this month. So, but he had Fritz. His name's Frederick Noble, but he goes by Fritz Creek. Uh, he is has a kidney disease, so he's at stage 4 kidney failure or whatever. So he's not on dialysis yet, but he might have to be on it. But anyway, so this is his GoFundMe. So that's a picture of him. There is actually there was like a fuller. Hold on a second. Hold on. I have a thing. Frederick. Okay, there. So what did I put it under? Oh, I think I put it under Shanda. Hold on a second. There it is. Sorry, I was looking on. So here's a little. I mean, I guess it's not that much, but it's a little bit better picture, bigger. So that's him. What is happening with my Microsoft? No, I don't want to go there. Okay. So we'll get into what he said. I know you guys are probably anxious to hear what's going on. Here's another picture of him though from his YouTube channel, which I'll share all that if you guys want to check him out. He did say, well, I'll get to that about his band, and then these are from like his Facebook. This was like a little bit older picture of him because obviously he lost some weight. He's thinner in the ones, and then this one, obviously there's a filter with like a fake cigarette. But anyway, so there's some pictures of him. Like I said, I don't have a lot. I did ask him if he could send me one for the thumbnail, but I think we got sidetracked, and then I never re-asked him because I ended up talking to him on the phone, and then because my last email, he tried to call and I had it on silent. I didn't know, and then I called him back, and so I had sent like 4 different emails asking a bunch of different questions, and one of them was like, "Hey, can you send me a picture for the thumbnail?" But then I never re-asked him. But anyway, okay. So there he is. So let me go over the notes now. So I'm just gonna put my face up there and read my notes so you guys you can stare at me. I guess I could just have his picture up. Let me do it like maybe. No, I don't like that one. I don't like when it's big on me. Why does it have to be like that? I just want one. Hold on a second. I'm just checking out all my. Okay, that one. Okay, so this is him. Now let me bring up my notes. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start by what he said in his emails. Okay. So he started off by saying, by telling me that it was amazing that I found out about him and that, about him and Shanda. And he said he had to laugh that I actually had his band stuff on there, the strangulated beat offs. He said that made him laugh because, like, I can't believe you found my band stuff. Um, so he's like, yeah, that's amazing you found out about us. He said, as far as an actual interview, he said that he'd want to talk to Shanda first to see if she's comfortable with it. But he said from the reactions in the comments in the video I had done previous in the live stream that I did on him, he said that he would lean more to no for safety reasons because he said he doesn't want to, and also he doesn't want to exploit Shanda for any reason. But he did say, but we'll see. So I don't know if he'll ever end up doing it. Probably not, but on the email. But then I ended up talking to him on the phone. So I think it's a no for him to actually come on. But in the first couple emails, he said, but we'll see. But he said, if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay. So he said that they didn't get legally married yet, only because he didn't have money to get up there. He had it set up for June 24th, but he on his way there, he said he started driving there and his car broke down about 200 miles out of town. So then he said he set up another date for September 24th to get married, but the chaplain, he said, croaked that date. I wanted to get a reference. I forgot to ask that what he meant by that. He just the chaplain croaked that date and has it, and that the chaplain hasn't been very helpful at all. And he said that he has their wedding rings. and for all intent purposes that they are married, he says. He said he feels like they feel like they're married, but they're not legally married yet. And I asked him about, and this is kind of not in order, it kind of goes all over the place. I try to just like type it all out, but it's anyway, like I said, because remember, this is the emails, and then I'll go over all the stuff we talked about on the phone. Okay, so he said, I asked about if, of course, did her girlfriend tell you about him? Because, I talked to her girlfriend once it was all going on and shared their phone calls and stuff, um, or her phone call that she shared with me. Um, and he said that she did tell him about her. He said it didn't bother him at all because he has participated in a swinger lifestyle in the past. So he said it didn't even bother him at all. But he said, according to Shanda, the girl was sexually attracted to Shanda, but Shanda wasn't to her. But Shanda appreciated her kindness. So I did ask on the phone, I'll kind of jump ahead a little bit. I said, do you think wouldn't that's kind of isn't that kind of like leading her on or whatever? Isn't that kind of that's not cool? You know what did he say when I said that? I said that doesn't seem right that she'd you know, pretend to be interested in that like that. And let me think if I remember what he said to that, because I do go over more about that, but hopefully it'll come back to me what he said. Anyway, so then he said, quote, this is quote, he says, Shonda is pretty mega. So I don't know if she would flutter by like bisexuality or not, but being locked up, who knows? I probably would dig it if she did. Ha ha. End quote. So that was what he said. And then he said that they've had a lot of Zoom visits. So he hasn't physically got to see her yet, but Zoom visits, so they get to see each other on video all the time. And he said as soon as he gets a little bit more cash, he's going to go finalize their marriage because he's got to be there in person. He said he actually just called the chaplain earlier today. Now this email was a couple days ago, this email. So he called the chaplain a couple days ago. Because he said he wants to get up there before it snows and because he loses track of time easily. So I was right. He is a true crime fan. Remember I said he's got Taylor Business on his Facebook. He's got to be true crime. And he just saw the case and he was like, whoa. And he said he's big into true crime, and he was before he met Shonda. He just likes true crime like we do. Uh, and he did say Taylor looked hot, but a cook. I don't know how to say that right. So he's like, he did think she was hot, but a cook. And so he said about Shonda before he met her, just how she looked at the trial. He said she looked out of her depth, scared at trial. She had written briefs at the courthouse she was tried at, and he said he felt sorry for her as she is obviously intelligent, as her LSAT results showed. So he said he looked into that test, and it's super hard. And we know Shonda passed it the first time, aced it, I guess. He said the LSATs are really hard. He said it's a great logic test, which is beyond difficult. Now Frederick actually has a degree in philosophy. I don't know. I mentioned it in my last live, but I didn't kind of focus on that. But he does, from Webster University, so he has a degree in philosophy. He said he talks to her a lot, and in the phone call, he tells exactly how much. He said he talks to her like twice every day, or he did. He does, but now we'll get into that, but he does talk to her a lot. He said she isn't a monster, but her son might be. So Frederick's more takes the opinion, which I've told him I disagree, but he takes the opinion that it was Paul. Paul was the instigator. It was Paul's fault, and Shonda just kind of went along with it. That's his opinion. Like I said, remember, when I'm saying this stuff, this is just stuff he told me. So it's not stuff that I feel or I agree with it. Like I said, I even told him I disagree. No, I disagree. I think it was more Shonda, but he said he thinks that it's like, we could respectfully disagree on that. But he said that, yeah, he thinks that it was Paul. He was the instigator, and her ex-husband, which I'll show you exactly what he says when I get to that part about her ex. Let's see. He said, Frederick said that Shonda overestimated her ability to handle everything, especially the shitbag ex. So he's talking about Eric throwing Timothy at her like a pet that he didn't want. So this is his quote. He said that Shonda overestimated her ability to handle it all, especially that her shitbag ex throwing Timothy at her like a pet that he didn't want. He said that she really misses Timothy terribly, and that he feels that it's genuine when she talks about him missing him. He said he doesn't want to go into any specifics except to say that she loved him despite the tragic mistakes that were made. He says that Shonda is and has been misunderstood without areas of blame. He says that her dingbat son and scumbag ex were the catalyst for the tragedy. He goes on to say that he never has ever wrote a prisoner before, but decided to write her and that they hit it off. He said they're really happy together. Um, he did laugh about the trust fund because he said no, he doesn't because she's not even getting the trust fund anymore. But he said, I did have to laugh that you said that. And he just made like a joke about it, just a kidding joke. But he said she doesn't even get it. She don't get it anymore anyway. So he does say, yeah, they do Zooms, they get to see each other and often that way. He said he did get her a wedding ring that she liked. So he has both their wedding rings. Um, I asked him if he was able to make it there in person, if they will get to if when he does make it there in person, if they'll get to touch, like, is it what prison they'll get to actually physically touch each other? It doesn't sound like he knows for sure, but he said he's sure. Well, I guess he said he's sure that they will let them hold hands. Because I'm like, will they let you hug her? Like, what do you think they'll let you do? Kiss or hug her? He said, he's like, he's sure they'll let them hold hands. Um, and then he also told me he isn't on dialysis yet. He has stage 4 kidney failure, and Ollie, his cat, died on the 13th of this month of liver disease. Okay. Now we're going to skip forward to the phone call. So here's the phone call. So I ended up talking to him today. So he said it all started with him writing her because he watched the trial. Now here, I'm kind of paraphrasing memory off of what I remember our conversation. He said, he saw the trial and he is like a big into true crime, but like he didn't find the case per se interesting because he's more interested in like Ted Bundy, Taylor Schabusiness, like that kind of like true crime. But he said something kind of like, well, he's attracted to her physically, the way she looked. And like he said in that email, like she just looked so scared. And I think he was attracted because he heard how smart she was and stuff. So he ended up writing to her. He said they talk 2 times every day, 2 times a day. Um, they talked the night before last because he said lately he hasn't been able to talk the 2 times a day because he doesn't have funds. But they started off talking 2 times a day, and now they still talk often. Like I said, they talked the night before last. Shonda is not happy about the jail sharing her contact info with me. Not happy at all, actually. She doesn't understand. I think she still thinks I'm getting it illegally. If you guys remember the call with her girlfriend, where she talks about me and how I'm getting the calls, and she's under the impression that I'm paying somebody like and getting them illegally and just paying somebody for them. Well, yeah, they cost money, but I'm not getting them illegally. I'm getting them from the jail through a files request. It's not like somebody that just works. Like it's not like the Brian Koberger case where that guy's going to get fired. He's shared that jail thing and he wasn't supposed to. This is a files request that I did. So I'm getting him legally. She doesn't believe it because I mean, when she talked to her girlfriend, she's like, "There's no way," and I think the girlfriend, I think the girlfriend believed me eventually after I tried to explain, no, I'm getting him legally. But on the phone call, she's like, "Yeah, she has to be," and talking about how she's like, "Yeah, that's messed up." She's like, "Nope." Like I talked to them, so she's definitely getting she knows somebody and she must be doing favors or paying a lot of money for him, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know who she talked to in the jail, but they obviously well, think about Paul. Paul was saying the same thing. Remember, Paul was telling, if you remember the phone calls with baby girl, he was saying how "Yeah, I talked to the guard, and he doesn't understand how she's getting them and stuff." So maybe they just maybe everybody's not versed on, like, files requests and what's available if they're not in the records department. But I told, Frederick, I said, "Listen," I said, "She's under the impression that I got those phone calls illegally." I was like, "I got those through the jail through a files request." And I was like, "And that files," because it was like he was almost insinuating that she thought that, how did I get this information about her emergency contact and him and all this stuff? Like, how is she getting that? That's bull crap. And I was like, no, and I got that through a files request. I was like, I swear to God, this is all legally, you know. And he even agreed. She's kind of hard headed, so she's probably never going to believe you. But it sounded like he believed me that I got him legally. But so yeah, she thinks. I guess sh it's probably like I said, everybody that works there, they don't realize what's public record and what's not. But anyway, so she's very mad because he told her how, I found out about that, and she already knows who I am from the, phone calls and stuff, from people telling her. Anyway, okay, so, oh, like I said, earlier, Frederick thinks Paul's the instigator. Uh, he thinks this is what his opinion. He said Shonda's guilty of doing too much at one time, and the fact that she was subjected to the same punishments as a child. So, which we know that is true because we talked to her sister and how some of the they weren't necessarily as harsh as what she was due to Timothy, but there was the kind of the same stuff. The hot sauce, what was the other main one? It was, like, kinda some of the similar stuff when remember when her mom went to jail and she stayed at the, was it foster care or whatever? And that's where she was subjected to that. So li According to her sister, if you guys remember that, and if you haven't seen the interview, go back to my playlist. I interviewed Shonda's sister where she went over all her history and how when they were little, they, were subjected to some of the same punishments. So she's like, that's where she got some of them. Okay. Um, so he says that Shonda is sick about what happened to Timothy. He says that she can't get out of bed on Timothy's birthday and that she cries to him on Timothy's birthday. And he said the other day as well. Now, this is a mix. Most of this is the conversation, but that little part was after we talked. He sent just that little part, so I didn't get to ask him, "What do you mean the other day?" I'm guessing the death anniversary, he said, but that's the only part. The rest is from the phone conversation, but that he had emailed me right after, and said that. Okay. Oh, he said that recently Shonda weighed 98 pounds. So she's 5'2". And he said recently she weighed 98 pounds, which is really thin. Um, so he said that he asked her, "Are you trying to make amends with what you did to Timothy? Like, are you not eating because you're trying to make amends because you starved Timothy, basically?" She said no, but he thinks that that was like subconsciously that that's why she was doing it. Like I said, I know you guys remember these aren't my opinions. This is just I interviewed him and this is what he's saying. I don't want you to mistake it for me thinking some of this, but and I know some of you guys are probably like, you don't have to reiterate that, but I do sometimes because sometimes people will comment and they'll like they take the person that's doing the interview and act like we're the ones saying it. So I know I keep like repeating that, but I just want you guys to realize this is not my opinions, okay, or not my statements or thoughts, okay. So yeah, he thinks that, yeah, that she's doing it, like, subconsciously because she's not eating because of that. But he said she has gained weight back, and he kinda, like, tells her to eat, and she listens to him and stuff, so she doesn't weigh 98 pounds anymore, like, she's starting to gain it back, I guess, healthy weight because 98 pounds would be not that would be, like, pretty skinny. Um so then since I had him on the phone, I asked him again about Shonda's girlfriend. I said, um, if did she ever talk about that to him? So I could get a little bit more information. And he just said, yes, she told her about her. She never was physically attracted to her because, and he didn't say exactly, but some of the stuff that he said, it kind of insinuated that saying she wasn't attracted to women. It was, it was just that she wasn't into women. She kind of just pretended, I guess, because she, needed the support and she was a friend to her or whatever. So, but that's when I said, I was like, don't you think that's not cool? Because like, she probably was lying to her saying that she was, but yeah, she was just, I guess she really wasn't. Doesn't surprise me because I knew before she went to jail that she was against it because her daughter, I think her daughter is gay, I'm pretty sure. And wasn't it like she didn't go to her graduation or something because of it? There was something like that. I can't remember the details. I got to ask Holly. I think it was somebody told me, but it was that like she was against it that much that she wouldn't go, support her daughter. I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering right. So that's why when she said that, I was like thinking like it has to be just for the support because she was so against it. And yeah, so that doesn't surprise me. Um, so he said that Shonda would tell him that his girlfriend was in love, her girlfriend was in love with her, but I'm not like that, as in Shonda saying, I'm not like that, but that she needed a friend. Shonda needed a friend. Fritz Frederick said he was totally cool with that because he understands how she needs any support she can get. Um, and I had already said this, but he was talking about how the wedding rings, he has her wedding rings. She picked out her wedding ring, but he's going to bring it to her in person. But he did send her money. She has an engagement ring on because he sent her the money for her cellmate, I guess, made her one. So he sent her the money to give to her cellmate to make her an engagement ring since he can't just send her an engagement ring in prison. So he sent her the money and then her cellmate made it for her. And then I did, because I wasn't sure at the time with the emails. So I clarified. So the reason you're not legally married is because you have to be there in person. Is that why? He said yes, he has to be there in person to get married physically, or has to be there physically to get married. They do send pictures, they do JPay, so they're able to send pictures back and forth and message each other and do the Zoom calls. So they do talk a lot. Um, so his opinion is that Shonda needed a guiding man to help her with Timothy and Paul, just help her at home. He said he thinks that she needs that to help her when things start to get too out of hand. So this is his opinion on why he thinks it got out of hand. Since Adam had the stroke, left the house, she needs that like support. He said since Adam wasn't there, Shonda needed kind of like the discipline to keep things in check. So now as he's getting to know her, she needs like a certain amount of discipline from a man in a way. So like he's saying she didn't have that when Adam left. So he's like he did said absolutely it would not have happened in his opinion if Adam didn't have the stroke and have to leave the house because he would have kept her in check. Like she needs a man to kind of keep her in check. And I said, wait a minute. I was like babysit. I said, like, isn't she the adult? I'm like, she's an adult though. Like, what do you mean? She's the adult in the situation. I was like, and then he's like, I know, but he said, but in a perfect world, it's not a perfect world. And, so, but he says, she's very sweet, very smart. She doesn't cuss. She doesn't let him cuss. So I asked him if she, remember how we always thought that she would probably have like a job in jail? Well, a private job, not like a official job, but like she would help legally because she has law degree and that she'd be okay because she'd probably get like free commissary and stuff to help people. Now he said she doesn't like advertise it or anything or try to, but she does help people if they ask her. But he didn't say if he knows if she gets like commissary or if she gets anything out of it. But she's a smart lady. And I guarantee she makes sure if somebody asks her, I'm sure she does get something out of it. Hey, I mean, I feel like anybody in jail, you got to get what you can as far as, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be, I feel like anybody probably would if somebody needs something. Not anybody. I shouldn't say anybody, but think about people that are in prison. Yeah, I think they would. So he didn't really say, but he did say some people do ask her for help. She doesn't try to like help. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't advertise it like, "Hey, anybody need help?" You know, trade for this or that. It's just she's helping people out if people ask. She also knits gloves and hats for people. So that's probably another way she gets things in jail. Trade, people, everybody has their job. If you guys watch like those jail shows or whatever, reality, where people have their own little thing, like some people, some of the guys will make candy. It's fascinating. Like they make like candy or they make well the alcohol or whatever, and that's how like it's like a little economy inside the prisons. So she knits hats and gloves for people. Um, and I asked about oh my god, I was gonna look this up because I couldn't remember her name. The girl that's in the same jail, oh my god, I should have looked it up before. And I really followed that case. The school shooter, the parents that got arrested and had to do a lot of time. She's in the same jail as her. Hold on. Does anybody know offhand so I don't have to leave the screen to look it up? Has talked to her before, like, she's seen her in prison before and talked to her. He said he didn't get in detail of, like, what they said, but he does remember her saying, "Yeah, she was nice." Jennifer Crumbly, thank you, Drunky the Bear, yes. Because I asked because I heard, and he knew exactly what I was talking about because I was like, "I heard she's in the same jail as her," because I remember seeing that, and he's like, "Oh, yes, yep," and he said, "Yeah, she has mentioned that she talked to her before and she was nice." Um, he calls her Shonda Bell. um, he says that he knows that she regrets all this and says it was a tragedy, and they tell each other that they have each other at the end of the day. He loves and trusts Shonda, would take her home any day if he could. The reason he's saying that is because I asked him like, what if she does get out? Like, what if she like, let's say somehow she ends up getting out of prison, would you take her in? I mean, would you be with her? Like, because I mean, it's easy to be like, "Oh, I'm just talking to her. Yeah, that's my fiance. We're married." But like, there's really no. I mean, what do you don't really have to I mean, I don't want to say sacrifice because he does help her with like money or when he can. But it's like in reality, if she actually got out, would you be able to live with her? Would you take her in? And he's like, absolutely, yes. He said he would. Um, he said that she'd probably wanna live in Alabama to live. If she does get out, she would wanna go to live in Alabama where she grew up. Let me see what you guys are saying. That's about it, guys. I couldn't think of anything else to ask. Um, but hey, maybe I'm sure if you guys in the future, if you have any questions that I forgot, maybe, I can ask him again and then come back on a live and give you the answers. But I couldn't think of anything else because it's like there's only so much that he would know from being on the outside talking to her. Um, oh, I didn't ask him that. I'm sure well, they're too old now. He's 60 and I don't know. She's on the verge of being too old, but possibly maybe, you have heard people having babies and I mean, it's possible. Depends if she's still, having her period and ovulating and stuff. I don't know. Uh, maybe, but it'd have to be soon because she's getting to the age where it'd be too late eventually. I mean, pretty soon. So I don't think she's getting out anytime soon. Oh, and guys, remember, and I finally, this is just from what I looked up because I was just bothering me. I remember doing a live stream for the hearing, but sometimes when I'm on the live stream and I'm watching them, I don't absorb as much as if I'm just by myself watching them. And I never went back and rewatched it. So remember, I was like, why are they having another hearing? I swear he denied her. I got the answer to that. I looked it up. So the judge denied her because remember, she's trying to get a retrial, Shanda, and she had that hearing a couple, like 3 months ago. And the judge denied her on the competency to stand trial. So she was trying to get a retrial on a competency, saying she wasn't competent to stand trial. She was all out of it. She couldn't focus, blah, blah, blah. He went over. He said there's like a standard and you don't meet that standard just because maybe you have ADD and you kind of spaced out here and there. That wouldn't reach the threshold of competency, right? So he denied her on that, but she's still trying for ineffective counsel. That's what they're going back for the hearing. He didn't deny her on that. He said that's a very important thing, that if that's the truth, then you should have a retrial, basically. So he wants to look over and make sure, and that she does deserve to for them to look over that to make sure that she doesn't qualify for ineffective counsel. So that's what they're going to go back for when they have the hearing November 30th at 9 a.m. I think it was November 30th. Shoot. I'll have to get the website. It was the end of November on 9. I said the time and date on the last live, but she'll be there in person on that, remember? So I'll definitely live stream that because I'm sure Court TV will live stream it and they'll have cameras in there, so I'll live stream it. So yeah, that'll be an effective counsel. He denied it for competency. So that's it, guys. No, I don't think so, Mama Beans. I got Oh no, I did get a little bit of never mind. I was gonna say they didn't there wasn't anything in the files that they because a lot of times prison's more strict on what they release. Um, so I don't think I mean, the only way we'd be able to find out this question, this is what I'm answering right now, right here, is if like I contacted them or if some you know what? Actually, there might be a way I could contact them. Never mind. I could reach out to Shonda's sister. Shonda's sister has been talking to Paul. Um, So she would know. What was the last thing she said? She's the one that told me that him and Jenny, him and baby girl are they were no longer. This has been a while. I mean, it was like I feel like it was shortly after I stopped covering it and all that happened. That shortly after they were done. Um. So and uh, I'm pretty sure. I feel like I mentioned I think she said they don't, but I don't know for sure. I'll ask her because, like I said, she talks to, uh, Paul now because she's trying to she never knew him. She never met him before, and she's like, I wanna try to have a relationship with him," and remember? Nobody ever knew Shonda's family. They never met the mom, the mom died. They never met, her kids or anything. Like her sisters, because remember she has 2 sisters and she has a brother. And the brother wait, actually, I think the brother may have met some of the older ones, but the 2 sisters, no. Um, yeah, Shauna's sister was nice. I'll have to reach out to her. I don't know if she has the same phone number. I'm sure either the phone number or email, one of them would be the same. I don't know. I don't know. I was talking to well, I guess I was never supposed to say, but I was talking to somebody, I promised the person. Remember I had a bunch of a source that it was from that side of the family and, they were giving me information and they wanted to be anonymous and in order to, keep like a good reputation, like you don't want to be like somebody reaches out and say this is off the record or anonymous and then you get answers and then you go back and you betray them then you're never I mean in the future nobody's going to trust you so but it was somebody on that side and but it was weird because she just stopped answering when was it it was right after there's something and it was like I feel like I was like oh was that something must have upset her because she would always respond back and then she started ignoring me. It was after I'm trying to remember. There was one thing in mind, I was like, "Was it that made her mad?" But she would have if I was still in contact with her, she would probably have been able to tell me if like, what's going on with all them. Um, oh, she likes her cellmate. I asked about her cellmate. She has a cellmate, and I said, does she like her?" She said, "Oh, yeah, she likes her a lot." Um, and I guess the prison is crappy. He said the prison is just so messed up. I forget the word he used. Let me try to think of some other stuff because I wasn't, I was just trying to like talk to him and then just like type out the important stuff, key points. But now let me think of our whole conversation and see if there's anything I missed. Um, uh, I could go over, if you guys are interested. Okay, so if you guys are, I mean, if you're interested in checking out anything, he actually said, his band, the Strangulator Beat-Offs, I guess they were kind of, I don't know, I haven't listened to them yet. They're on Apple Music. He sent me the link here. I guess he said that they were asked to, open up for, he said either Soundgarden or Nirvana. But he said that before they blew up and got really big, but they were going, I think he said in Europe. Did he say Europe, but they didn't wanna travel? I don't know. I forget what he said if they didn't wanna, eh, he said they didn't wanna, they were lazy and didn't wanna travel out there or something, but he said that they opened up for, but they did open up for somebody that was kinda big. Who was it? Hold on. I can't remember. I was more trying to remember all the Shanda stuff to relay, but they opened up for somebody kinda big. Sonic, whenever he said him, I was like, "Yeah, I know them." Is it Sonic? I don't know. Um, he said though that he doesn't play anymore, but he did do a Halloween song a few years ago was the last time they played. He said his guitarist died. He said he played the bass, sometimes the drums, but they mostly used like a drum machine and it was like not electronic, but what is that called? The other word for not electronic, it's kinda like electronic, but there's another word for it. Um, he said it was mostly like that, but the reason that they did, like, play it in the band too, because people would say like, "Oh, you guys can't really play," and he's like, "Well, we could play it too," but a lot of it, like, on the albums was, like, through, like, drum machine, electronic stuff. I don't know. I'm probably not big. You guys probably don't care, I'm sorry. But yeah, so I haven't listened to the music. I was like, because it was when I found the Stringulated Beat-Offs, I saw the old bands had tracks you could listen to, but that didn't. And he's like, "Oh, we're on Apple Music." And I was like, "Oh, I haven't listened yet," but that's his link to the Apple Music. Let me see here if there's anything else. Oh, where's all my links go? Did I Wait, that's that. I had them all up and I deleted them all, some or not deleted them, I exited out on accident. This is his YouTube channel, and they do have this is them playing, but I don't know. So, um, I'll just share the links. If you guys wanna check out anything, this is the stuff. Um, what was the other one? The YouTube. What did I just do with the YouTube channel? I don't even know. I've had all these things popping up. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Mr. M. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I had to tell him, like, I don't agree with you on, it being all Paul's fault. I was like, I think it's it's more Shonda was the more to blame because she was the adult. I know he was an adult, but he wasn't mature like an adult because the way Paul was brought up. But I guess then you can make the same argument with her about her, but she was older, so she had time to be an adult and get farther away from like her upbringing and become her own person. Paul just went from like, you know what I'm saying? He was still just becoming an adult. And men and guys take longer to, you know, mature. Now, I still blame Paul too. I'm not saying I take the Paul still is to blame, but I'm saying like I think Shonda is the more to blame because she was the adult, she was the mother. Um, and but he says everybody has a different perception. Like you say, I could respect. I don't want to say respect. Wait, what is the agree to disagree? Because he said that. when he looked at the tech, he watched because he was watching my channel. That was weird. He was watching my channel. He said he thinks he watched that's how he, followed the Shanda case originally. He said, he's like, "I think I watched the trial on your channel, actually." I can't remember if I watched on yours or Court TV," but he was watching Shonda stuff, and he, watched when we read the text and his perception of the text were it was Paul. Like, he saw, like, "Oh, I see it was Paul that was, instigating it," and she was just too busy trying to do a bunch of stuff and was just not able to just overwhelmed. See, I saw both of it. I saw it was both of them. So, um, like, I feel like she's the one that freaking with the hot sauce on the private, she's the one and Paul's the one that said, "No, I don't think that's a good idea with that." I mean, it was both their faults. I mean, he was an adult too. And Eric too. Eric, I feel like has some culpability. I mean, and then I asked him, I said, "What do you think?" I was like, we're just talking about how smart she is, right? I was like, in how and law, her area of expertise was the law. I was like, and now I don't think I got this specific when I was talking to him, but I'm as far as saying, like, she knew how to read like, court documents and stuff, so, I mean, she was able to probably know how to look up their court documents with Timothy if, she saw, like, "Oh, she need the health insurance. I can't get it. What do I need to do?" I'm sure she had the means and intelligence to be able to look up on how she could look into, like, "How can I do this?" And then it would lead her to I'm sure documents that shows that she's not supposed to have them. And I said, so what I did say to him is, she's smart. So, like, I mean, don't you think she was aware that she wasn't supposed to legally have them? Because he was, talking about how Eric, shouldn't have done that. And I said, well, yeah, I mean, I do agree, what he did, but also Donna should have been. I mean, wasn't she smart enough to realize that legally she wasn't supposed to have them, because she knew that she couldn't get insurance because she didn't legally have them. So then, and health care and stuff. So, so yeah, it's crazy. No, I don't think so, Mama Beans. I really don't. I'm gonna go with a 95% again percent that it's not, because I feel like the last time I talked to Shonda's sister, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just say I don't know. I don't I can't even say I'm 95% sure that they're not. But I remember towards the end of when I was, like, covering that case, I know I still do updates, but when I was covering it real in depth and I was at the end of covering it, um, I feel like that's when it started stopping, because I feel like they started, because it was like kind of like I don't want to say a war, but it was kind of like a thing between Baby Girl was telling him one thing, and, like, Randy and JoJo knew that some of the stuff he was talking to them about, or talking to her about, was, like, contradicting, and it was, like, coming across as, like, not sincere of how what he was saying to Randy and JoJo, and I think they were seeing that, um, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think even when I was still talking to Baby Girl, getting information about Paul and everything, I'm thinking Randy had already stopped talking to him, like, he was already starting to distance himself and not, like, remember he was supposed to get him a lawyer and stuff, he wasn't doing any of that. So I think he already started, like, stop like, distancing himself. Randy, I think, was starting to they had, like, her and, Jenny, they had, like, a thing, like, I think it was almost I feel like Baby Girl, AKA Jenny, that's public knowledge now. I mean, I kept it Baby Girl for that whole time, and now, I mean, all the channel I mean, all the channels. There's not a ton of channels, but the channels that are talking about it and Reddit and everything. Um, Plus you're allowed to do a first name anyway. I just thought it was baby girl. I just thought it's funnier because a name is just a name. You know what I'm saying? In reality, so to pull it was baby girl. Remember? And if you guys haven't pulled a case, I'm sure most everybody in here has followed it. That's why you're here. But he'd be like, baby girl, baby girl. It just was, it was never it was always baby girl, but baby girl. Which I don't know. It just felt so like forced and like almost like this is what he read or saw in movies, how you're supposed to like almost if there's like an AI person or something like this is how you're supposed to and things you're supposed to say, but it didn't come off as like sincere in a way. And no, I'm not saying like that he was faking, like maybe having feelings for, her, but it was like he was almost trying, I don't know, like trying too hard and it just came off as very cringy and like almost like you're like secondhand embarrassed for how he was acting. I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm sure you got most people understand what I'm saying. It wasn't sincere, as in, like I said, not that I don't think that he didn't like her, but it was just cringy. Yes, Millie. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You're right. He never did. He was a virgin too. Remember they talked about it on the phone calls, which is fine. I mean, no judgment. I think that's awesome if people, save themselves for marriage. I mean, I have nothing against that. I'm just saying, that has a lot to do with yes, like his inexperience too. Yes. Um. Oh, JoJo and Jenny. Or JoJo and Jenny. Yeah, JoJo and Jenny, not Randy and Jenny. JoJo. So you're right. So JoJo and Baby Girl, they had it was almost like Baby Girl's like, because isn't it just funny or just keep referring to her as Baby Girl? I'm like laughing every time I'm in my head, like, okay, Baby Girl was just um oh, it's almost like she was jealous. But she would tell me that she thought JoJo was jealous of her. And, like, she would make remarks to Paul, baby girl would make remarks to Paul, like, because she would tell me this stuff like, oh, like, about JoJo being so old and thinking, like, that like, some of the stuff that she would hear in the phone calls or something, thinking like, "Well, why would, a grown woman, like, why would she talk to you about this?" Like, it seems like, she has a crush on you, the way she was talking to him, so she'd make, like, remarks to Paul about that, and almost like she was kinda jealous of JoJo. Um, and I always found that funny because she's like and I know JoJo's older than baby girl, but baby girl was still, like, 20 years older than Paul, and she would say, like, "She's a grown woman, like, she's so much older than you," and it would just almost make me like, "Wait a minute, you're, like, 20 years older than him too," even though JoJo's even older, but, I mean, still, um Oh, hey. I know I never got back with you. I feel so horrible. Rich, I know. I suck. We were supposed to do collab together on that case. But how are you? Thanks for stopping in. I suck sometimes to get back to people. But every once, every few weeks or whatever, I'll be like, dude, I never got back with him. And then I feel like it's so far gone now. I felt stupid contacting you. But thanks for coming. Thanks for still not giving up on me here. But yeah, so yeah, I think she was definitely I think in my opinion, that baby girl was jealous of JoJo. She thought JoJo was jealous of baby girl, and then that's why she always thought that baby girl always thought that JoJo was talking crap about her. Like, what is she saying about me? Like that she was trying to well, you could tell in the phone calls, remember? Some of the phone calls, like she was trying to get Paul against her. And, like, he would promise, like, "No, no, they," remember? It was almost like he almost, like, made him promise that, like, he chose her over them, and it made, like, if I was JoJo or Randy, like, supporting this guy, giving him commissary, supporting this guy because out of the goodness of their hearts, right? And then telling baby girl, "Oh, they don't mean anything." Like, "No, I would give them up for you," "No, I'll quit talking to them. They don't mean anything." Like, stuff like that. It's like, so that's why I don't think after they ended up hearing some of those phone calls, I really don't think that they would have continued talking to him. Because I mean, he made him seem like, oh, he didn't care about them. Like, they weren't my friends. All he cared about was baby girl. Um, so yeah. 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 But he ruined it because he chose, somebody that wouldn't let him have other support. You know what I'm saying? Like, she should have let him. That's like, he's in prison, so, like, he needs any support he can get. And it's crazy because 'cause I'm saying this because, as much as I don't want like, I don't want him to be happy or whatever, but remember, I'm saying this in a way as objectively talking about, like, objectively, not how I feel because I don't want him to have support. You know what I'm saying? But objectively, as far as, like, anybody, you know what I'm saying? Somebody in prison doesn't have anybody, so they need some friends and support that will help them with help them with different things because you make, like, what, a penny every 5 hours you work? I'm exaggerating, but you make crap to buy stuff. Um, so, like, if you really love that person, like, really loved them, because love should not be selfish. You know what I'm saying? If you really loved him, you would want him to be happy and have things and be happy and not struggle. So you would want him to have friends. And it's obvious. I mean, JoJo was like a parent, like a mother or a grandmother figure to him. So it's like, I can't, like, come on, baby girl, you're jealous over her. Like, that should be the person, like, good, let him have some support of somebody's like a grandma figure to him. So I don't have to worry about that, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's the perfect support. Somebody that's, like, a lot older that he's not interested in like that. Like, that'd be perfect. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no. So obviously she didn't. I feel like if you really love somebody, you would want them to have some support. And then Randy, I mean, so so she wanted them all to herself, sounds like, but that's not real love because he basically, I think he ruined his friendships with them because of her. And then in the end, he doesn't have her either. But maybe they came back after, he got rid of her, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to ask the sister, Chanda's sister, if maybe they ended up coming back, but I don't think. I think they after I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. But the way he said and made it seem like they were nothing to him after they were supporting him when he had nobody, nah. And that took a lot because seeing the text messages and what he did, and they were still gonna support him, he gave that up. That's not real love from her. Yeah, he did. You're right. Because he had a son. Remember, Randy had a son that was on the spectrum. So he's like, he could see he could see his son in Paul, but sometimes that might not be correct. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he was. I can't say either way. I'm not, equipped to say. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But there's some stuff obviously that reminded him of his son. But my concern is what if it was some of the stuff? Maybe there were some things that reminded him of his son because were they kind of the same age? And it might not have been the stuff that made his son autistic. You know what I'm saying? It could have been other things that he mistakenly, and he's like, "Gosh, he reminds me of so much of my son, so he has to be autistic." But it could have been just other things that reminded him of him, and he didn't realize, and you know what I'm saying? He wasn't able to differentiate, like, maybe it was just other things. They're boys, they're maybe around the same age. I don't remember if they were, you know what I'm saying? And he mistaken that like, oh, I bet he is because my son is. I don't know. Yeah, so I wanted to also clear this up because I was calling Nolan Eric. Nolan, I think his first name's Eric. He goes by Eric. Either his middle name or his first name's Eric. So when I was calling him Eric, I think the reason I was calling him Eric on the last live stream is because I had just read through the documents. And in the documents, Eric, which it says his brother, because he does go by Eric sometimes, was his point of contact. And in the document, it said Eric, brother. So I called him Eric, but it is Eric. He does go by Eric sometimes. When I first had looked him up, he had two Facebooks. The one it was Eric and one was Nolan. And it was confusing me at first. And I can't remember now, but either his middle name or his first name is Eric or the other way around, Nolan. So sometimes he goes by Eric, sometimes he goes by Nolan. So when I was talking about his emergency contact or his, it is his brother. And in that document, he went by Eric. So I don't know. But yeah, he does go by Nolan too. So hey Tony, what's up? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Put a 1 if you think he is autistic, and put a 2 if not. Now it's been so long since I thought about it. I don't remember. What did I think back then more? I really don't know. I mean, it's almost like sometimes autistic is subtle too. Like you almost have to live with them to know. Like would we know just by seeing them and testify in some TikToks and YouTube videos and hear jail calls? I don't know if that would even be enough if depending on where he's at on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? If he's not like if he's like high functioning or you know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be able to tell necessarily from that information. Even people that live with high functioning sometimes don't even know. I don't know though. What do you guys think? Yeah, that's true. Hey, Anthony. Aw, I love you guys too. Robert, hey, Chinnery. He was Sicily. Lotus. Hey, Angel. Bubba Bath. Email me if you guys or leave in comments if you guys have any questions. And for Frederick, like I said, I'm sure he'll answer more. I don't know. I mean, I could try. I think it'll probably just depend on the question, I would say. He answered all the questions I had, though. I don't think there was any that he said that he's like, I don't want to answer. But I even said, like, you don't have to answer all, but are you willing, to answer questions? If you don't feel comfortable answering some, you can let me know. I'm pretty sure he answered them all. I mean, there was a few things off the record, and like as a reporter interviewing, you have to go by that. You can't, you know, have trust and be a credible like interviewer if you do that. So there was some things off the record, but to me he answered all of them. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any. I could try to ask him. Like I said, if he wants to answer me, well, I couldn't think of any more though. I really can't. I still don't have any. I thought like when I was up here going over, I was like, I'll probably think of so many more. I even told him the phone, I'm probably gonna think when I hang up, I'm probably gonna think of so many more, but I didn't. I don't think. That's why I'm asking you guys. That's a good question. Yeah. I could have asked her that. That is a good question. Um, if he knows if she talks to I did ask him if he knew if she talked to anybody else. I didn't say family, but I was more insinuating like as like because we're talking about her girlfriend, and I was like, do you know if uh, dude, I meant to ask if she still talks to her girlfriend. No, I think he said no because what I said is, do you know if she talks to anybody else? Like, what if she was talking to? her girlfriend the same time as you? Like, what if she's talking to somebody else? Do you know? And he said, "Well, I asked her and she said no." And he's like, "I wouldn't care if she did." He's like, I really wouldn't. She needs the support." See, I feel like that's real love right there. I'm not saying, hold on, let me take that back. That doesn't necessarily mean that's real love, but if you really love somebody, like truly love them, I'm just comparing to baby girl, like you would want them to have the support, not want them to cheat on you. I'm not saying that, like, to be with other people, because some people could be okay with an open marriage, open relationship. I don't mean that. But you'd want them to have other friends and support, especially in a situation like that. Um, so that's why I think baby girl might have thought she loved him, but like maybe I don't know. Maybe that's just some people are that type that they just love selfishly. And I don't mean, oh, hi, Hossein. um, oh yeah, hold on. I'm gonna go up and say hi to more people. But so he did say that she said no. And I said, "Do you think she's lying? Like, I mean, you wouldn't know." And he said, "No." He's like, "I trust her. I don't, because I wouldn't care if she was." So he's like, "No, I don't think she is." So as far as like, I was talking about like relationship wise, but I didn't ask about family. I don't think so though. Why do I feel like he's the only one she talks to, but I could be wrong. But I will ask. That's a good question. I think you'd answer that. Anything else? Um, who else? Elvin, what's up? Okay. Yeah, he did text. I gotta respond back. I haven't, like, as you see, I've not been doing many lives. I am gonna do, you guys, I got all the kiosks. I got those of you that are still interested in the Wade case, I'm still covering it on my Patreon as far as like kiosk. I got the rest of the kiosk message or the rest of the kiosk pictures. So I have all the kiosk pictures. So if you're interested, check out my Patreon. I'm gonna be releasing them. I just got a few days ago. I think I made one post from them so far, but no, the first batch I've made a lot of posts. So there's a lot of content. There's a lot of kiosk pictures and along with the messages. So I've been putting like a lot of I think I've been putting more time into my Patreon than YouTube. So I got to try to balance it because well, they costed so much, so it's like and then plus people I don't know. It takes a long time because if you put out pictures and I say this is so and so, sometimes people are like, "Wait, reference, I forget which one is this?" So I try to like go back and screenshot like a lot of the like their conversation and the messages. Plus, they send them in PDF file, the pictures, which means I have to screenshot. The first batch was like 900 pictures. I just got another almost 3,000. So that means that's going to be 3,000 screenshots, then group them together per person, and then try to identify people that aren't identified or that I don't know. And then find some of their kiosk messages so it makes sense on some of the people who they are. So it's taken a lot of time. So, a lot of you might think like, God, you're not doing much on YouTube, but it's because I'm kind of trying to balance Patreon with YouTube. But here's my Patreon. So I have been working. But my point is, I am going to be doing a live stream on Wade because there is one little piece of information that I got from the picture that I was like, you know what, this is YouTube. This is YouTube content here. Um, so eh, I'm gonna. I was gonna mix it and do a combination of this, but then I was like, you know what? I could do a whole one on this. I'll keep it separate. But there is something on one of the kiosk pictures that I feel like it's informational, that it's interesting. So I am going to do that. So be looking for that. Um, and I might release some of the pictures on my YouTube, but most of them to be safe and not create any trouble for how it is. I'm doing most of them on Patreon, but I probably will do a little bit here. But check out my Patreon. Like I said, I have been very active over there. So, and I had to okay, so I wasn't crazy, so I was watching, thank you, Happy Sheep. Remember I was telling you, hold on, let me just thank a couple people. Thank you so much, appreciate the hard work, thank you. Drunky the Bear, 15 months, thank you so much for all your hard work, Zav and months. Aw, and Elvin, 21 months. 21 after a reset, but love and hugs. Okay, so you've reset, nice, 21 months, wow. Um, So I remember I was telling you how like mine was $5 a month, but it was like taxes because I tried to do it 3. So I was only actually getting 3 because of the tax. They did this new update on Patreon where they're doing like fees and taxes, and you only keep like half of what you make. Well, I'm not crazy, and I was, like, watching, Bunny, XO from, Jelly Roll's wife. If you guys followed the weight case, she talked to weight, and so anyway, she was big on Patreon, and she's moving because of the updates, because of well, that's one reason, one of the big reasons, and she because the taxes now and the charges that they're charging, it's like, that's bullcrap. So, I'm not making it up, guys. It's a new thing that just happened. And now I know it is because I haven't had my Patreon for what, 2 years, so I wasn't sure when it was. I just know it wasn't like that when I had Patreon before. Well, now I know it is a recent thing because she's moving and she's mad and she's making them a lot of money. And she's like, I should be grandfathered in. Like, this shouldn't apply to me. Like, because I mean, you're only making basically half. I'm estimating like half of what the prescription, and that's what I was trying to say. Like some people were complaining about 5 because it was 3, and my old Patreon was 3, but it's like, but it really is just 3, but because of their new things. So anyway, I thought because I'm putting so much work and those were so expensive, I'm putting so much work that I'm not doing a lot of YouTube, so I'm kind of hurting on the YouTube side. I did up it to 7 a month, but like I said, I'm probably only going to get like 450 out of that. I'm thinking 5, maybe 450. I don't know what it comes out to be, but it's not what it's crazy. They're gonna a lot of people are gonna end up leaving. So Bunny, she was making them tons of money. She's doing live streaming now and moving, and now she's gonna be doing her page. It sounds like she's gonna be doing her whole podcast on YouTube. So, because she used to just do only little teases on YouTube and all on Patreon. And she said she had like one of the biggest people because it's hard to get people to do something that's like a paid prescription. And somehow she was able to basically do her whole podcast on Patreon. And they're going to treat like she's like, and they're going to treat me that way. And now like make me these new rules and blah blah blah. So that she's making them so much money. So she's doing it all like now it looks like her whole podcasts are on YouTube, and then she's doing like live streaming now. But anyway, just wanted to like show you I'm not making this stuff up. You can watch her one of her I think it's her YouTube called Why I Left Patreon. Go check it out if you think I'm lying. No, I know nobody said I was lying, but about like what our Patreons and new charges and taxes and stuff. But anyway, it has been very helpful. Because of that, I was able to because it did help with the charges. You know what I'm saying? Because, help with the files cost is so expensive. My point is, I has been taking a lot of my time away from YouTube and stuff. So it's like I should, because some people are like, God, what, you should be charging more than that. So if $7, like I said, I'll probably only make not even 5 on it. But I set it up. I could have done it in 2 ways. Okay. So if you guys are already Patreons, you won't, you're gonna be grandfathered in for the $5. Okay. But if you cancel and come back, it would be 7, but if you stay, it'll be 5. I could have done it 2 different ways. I could have done it where the next month you all have to pay, or I could have done it where everybody that's a Patreon, it's gonna stay 5. I didn't, so I did it that way where if you're already a Patreon paying 5, it's not gonna go up to 7 unless if you cancel it and then redo it. Um, because I feel bad. So I was like, well, I have to do it that way because they became one, under the impression it was 5, so I didn't feel like it was fair to but anyway, so hopefully that won't make people mad, but If they wouldn't have done that, the charges and taxes and whatever they're doing, it's crazy. I think they're gonna lose a lot of people because they should not do that. That's messed up. Because people are, like, paying the creator. They wanna help support the creator, and then they're taking, like, almost half of it. I guess YouTube's the same way, so but Patreon was different, though. Like, you keep I thought Patreon was for the creator. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why I don't know. It's, like, something different than YouTube, so it's just yeah, it is kinda messed up. Oh, well, it's the way it is. I don't know, I just rambled on to but I just wanted to inform you if people saw that it went up. Um, yes, Donna, yes! I'm so happy. Yay. Becky. Did I say that right? I feel like no, I probably worded that all wrong. I probably came across like, I don't know. Hopefully, I didn't come across so bad. It's just because the file to help with the files cost, that's the main reason since those were so freaking expensive. And then it's taken a lot of so much work taking away my time for YouTube. So it's like if I could just not go too behind from the cost of the kiosk, but hopefully you guys understand. But thank you. I do appreciate everybody that has supported the Patreon. It's been a big help. So I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because it has been a big help. Um, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have ordered all of them because I would have been so thank you. Um, thanks, Geraldine. Yeah, all sane. Wow. Cookie. What? I don't understand. I didn't know you lost them. Wait, are you saying that because I was supposed to know that you lost them? Because you don't like to respond to your texts, mister. You never respond back till like 3 weeks later. uh, anyway, it's okay. You're like my mom, and you're not old. That's like an old person thing to do. You're younger than me, right? I forget how old you are, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you're definitely younger than me, but I don't know how much younger. That's like a grandma thing to do, or a grandpa thing. uh, like not check their because they just don't see them. My mom, she cracks me up. So if you look at her phone and her text, you'll see like 3,000 like text, unread text. I'm like, Mom, how do you know if you have a new text if you don't open them? Like get open those all so then when you get a new one, you know. Like, well, they're all like, just like average, stupid text or whatever. I don't but I'm like, but open them so then when you get a new one, you'll be like, new, but now if it always says like 3,000 like you're never gonna know if you get a new one. But that's from like years of not she just if she doesn't once she doesn't want to look at it, she just won't open it. Or some times, you know how you can look at them without opening them. You'll see like the what is it called? Whatever it's called, and it's like, yeah, but that would drive me nuts because then you never know if you have new ones. I feel like now I mean, I do have like some unopened ones, but like not like 3,000. What I'll do is I'll keep them unopened till I read them, so then it reminds me, oh, I still have to read it. But if that's not her impression, she's like, "Oh, those are just I don't care about." So crazy. I'm not even lying. I should go take a screenshot and show you. Like, I'm not even exaggerating it. That's that many because it's been like probably since she's had the phone. So it's not like she gets so many texts, but she probably does get a lot of texts, but like not like it's just years of buildup. Oh my god. Hey Tyne, how are you? Wait, you look familiar. Do I know you? I don't recognize that name. What is your name used to be? Is that said right, Tyne? I didn't know how to say that. Chris- Wait, which Christine though? Oh, I get it, Teen. So should I call you Teen? Because okay, I just caught it. Yep, when you said Christine, hey, I beat you to it. I promise. Before that popped up, I said Teen. Because usually I'm so slow, but I want to take credit for that. I said it right before I was able to see it because there's probably a delay when you message when it comes up, but Teen because she said because I called her Tyne and she said, what was that that just popped up? Did you guys see that? Where did that come from? That doesn't even what was that? Hold on a second. Huh. Anyway, I was saying, Christine. I said Tyne, and then she said, "Oh," I said, "Who'd you used to be?" Christine says, "Oh, Teen." But wait, did you guys see that pop up, or was it just me? Like a screen that looked like a email, but it's you guys are gonna make me go to hold on. I have to know because I don't what was that? I don't know if it was I just imagined it because nobody's answering. Hold on. Let me take down that. Hold on. Oh, nothing? Okay. I can't figure out what screen that was from because like sometimes with screen I have, but there's nothing that matches it. That was so weird. Huh. Anyway, all right. I just went to my live stream on YouTube to see, but I don't see it, so I guess it wasn't. I don't think. Where is it? Hold on, guys. Just give me 1 minute. I know exactly. I just saw. I could read my lips. Nope, it definitely doesn't come. Okay. I saw my facial expression what happened. I was like, anyway. Yeah, so all right, guys. I'm not gonna be here long because I feel like it is an important, interesting thing. And I was debating whether to do it a pre-record or um a live, but I was like, you know what, I gotta do a live. I gotta see my people. But I might keep it at a hour and a half and I might work on getting the stuff ready for that Wade live that I want to do. That's another thing. It's like, should I do a pre-record? But maybe I'll do, you know what, maybe I'll do a live on it and then I'll maybe clip out for a pre-record of it. And same with this, maybe. Maybe I can stay. Well, I'll stay another 6 minutes. Um uh, I'm in and out, daughters vi Oh, that's nice. And Donna, I'm so happy you found your cat, by the way. I think I got sidetracked. I right after I said that, then, "Oh, it doesn't look like you're here. You're probably loving on your cat." That's so awesome. What's your cat's name? I didn't get to see how did it just end up showing up? Like, I was about to say, did it say anything? Where was it at? Did it tell you? Because I don't know if it's a he or she. Did she tell you what was happening? But, like, did she come back all distraught? Was she dirty? Or was she, like, scared? Was she really hungry? How long was she gone? Um, oh, good, Elle. What did you guys think about, though, the information? Was it interesting of Shanda's fiance? Did you guys find it interesting or I was just so interested to know if they were still together. I'm really glad he actually reached out. I didn't realize he was somebody that like watched me and stuff, but yeah. So I was just so curious, like wonder what happened and did he know about her girlfriend and I was so tempted and I'm still tempted to text the girlfriend. I mean, if she still has the same phone number and email, I could try. And we didn't end on bad terms like me and baby girl did. Um, not and like as far as, like our because it was just about, we knew our communication was about Shonda and about that information and relaying some information, right? So then I was like, okay, I mean, it's not like we remained, it was about that. But I mean, our last conversation, it didn't end like because me and baby girl, remember that ended like bad where she's I think she threatened to call the cops. There was one night I thought the cops were gonna knock on my door, and I forget how that went, but she said she went no, she did say she went to the cops because she was like remember how she was trying to say that because she was getting threats from comments or people that watched my channel were threatening her, that I was, like, liable for that? And I was like, "Wait, are you kidding me?" Wait, it's a public platform. I can't control what people say, even if it was actually in my comments. Do you realize that there's hundreds and thousands of comments? Like, I can't be expected to read every single comment and be able to delete them. Nobody is, and that can't be my on me. You would have to go report the person, find out who's commenting, but I don't know if she actually really went to the cops, but the last thing that went on is she's like, "Well, they're gonna probably be knocking on your door." And it was like I remember it was late. It was like 11. I don't remember. I don't know why I remember in my head, I think it was like 11 at night because I remember saying like something like, "Dude, my grandma's sleeping. Like, are you serious? You went to the cops and they're gonna come here knocking. My grandma's sleeping." In my head, I was like thinking, there's no way though, from comments and from something that I didn't do, but something because they watch me and they threatened you that it's my fault. I was so confused, but it still made me like wonder, like, are they really? Because she had me convinced they were going to be coming and knock on my door. Yeah, they're going to come talk to you. Like, she's like, I gave them all the information. And it's like, wow. But so that's how we ended, me and baby girl. Sean as a girlfriend, it ended fine. I mean, it was just like, okay. And then we just stopped talking after I stopped covering the case. So my point is, if I reach out, I mean, maybe she would answer like how it ended with her and Shonda. That'd be kind of interesting. Like what happened? Did you guys break up? Was there a big fight? I don't know. I've been debating. Um, oh hey Dragonfly. Yes, rewind it up. It's, I feel like if you were following this case, it'd be interesting to you. I hope. Um, yeah. No, I didn't mean baby girl. No, I meant Shonda's girlfriend. No, I'm not reaching out to baby girl. No. I blocked her on everything, because it's like, man, that caused me like that whole relationship or whatever you call it, our communication we had with to report and get the information about Paul. Like that was so stressful because she was, I was trying to get information from her, so I couldn't be a jerk. I had to be somewhat friendly because I needed to build her trust so she share information. That's how it works, especially with somebody like certain people, I should say. They're not going to just willingly, freely give you information. Sometimes you got to build that trust to get it. So I had to, build it. And so I not only was getting it from that side, like, having her like come at me like, oh my God, you have to take that phone call down, take that, which I didn't. I mean, I did. I'm like, no, but like getting like, please don't play that or don't do that. So I was stressed about her coming at me that way, even though as much as people think I didn't take stuff down, as far as the phone calls, um, I redacted what I thought was proper for YouTube policy. Like if she would keep reporting me, that if they went back, I'd be covered and I wouldn't get a violation and it would stay up. So that's why I went and made sure I redacted so it went into YouTube policy, what was okay with YouTube. That was the only reason I did that. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I had that coming out, trying to keep her at least not too mad so we could get more information, because we were still trying to get like more information. So it was like a very balancing, I had to, um, so I would have to try like convince her like, no, it's okay. Like this phone call, like if it was already up, I wasn't going to take it down. Um, and then people coming at me, viewers mad saying, why are you giving them screen time? Like you shouldn't be giving them what's the word for it? Like not screen time, but like uh basically giving them like getting information from them to relay it. But what was the word I'm trying to think of? Like being able to give them like I can't even think of the word I'm thinking of. Help me out, guys. But it's like, wait a minute. You guys are the same people. The people that complain are the same people that want to know, that are like, "Ooh, we want to know more about baby girl." But then if I go and get the information, it's like, why are you even giving them the screen time or whatever? I can't think of the platform. Thank you. Why? I feel stupid. I couldn't even think of platform, but that's exactly what I was thinking of. Why are you giving them a platform? It's like, because I'm getting information about a case that I was really interested in, and we are interested in finding out more, hence why we're listening to phone calls and we're trying to figure out who these people are, that did this horrible thing. So that's why I'm not giving them a platform. I am getting information. You know what I'm saying? It's weird how people view it like giving them a platform when it's like, if you interview somebody or get information, like, some people will say giving them a platform. No. True crime, you interview people, you kidding me? Like, I know I've said this a million times, but if you were able to actually even interview the person, the suspect, that would be huge. Any reporter in true crime would love to interview, like, a case you're covering and you actually interview the killer. So, but then these people that are complaining that wanna know, they'd be like, "You're giving them a platform." But, "Ooh, tell me more. Why are you giving them a platform? Hey, ask them this." It's so hypocritical. It's because we wanna learn about the whole thing, every aspect. So, yeah, I was getting it from both ways. So, after that last thing with what happened with me and baby girl, I was like, I blocked her, like, I do not wanna open that door any like, I'm done. I don't wanna have any communication. I was so glad to be done with that. So I will not reach out to her, no. But I'm talking about Shanda's girlfriend, just to see how it ended. And I will reach out to Shanda's sister. and see. She'll know some information about Paul. Baby girl would be able to tell us anything because I'm pretty sure they broke up shortly after, uh, that I was covering him in depth. I don't think it was that long after. So, I mean, she wouldn't know anything about Paul after that. So, I mean, the most she would know is like what happened with the breakup. Like, it probably was like they probably just had a little argument and then he stopped calling her or something. It probably wasn't anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth talking to her, but I feel like we could get the information from Shonda's sister because if she talks to Paul, Paul can just say what happened, you know? So, yeah, no way. No way. Anyway, wait, you did what, Ausane? Hey, Megsy. I know. I think in a negative. Actually, no, I was the one. Everybody, like a lot of people said, I was the one that made open their eyes to how evil Paul was. I changed a lot of people's mind the opposite way. A lot of people that were feeling bad for Paul and thought Paul was basically manipulated they're like, you changed my mind, you got me. And with the phone calls and the text messages I got, they're like, we got to see who Paul really is. So it's like crazy. It's like actually you're saying I'm giving him a platform, like it actually like in a pot, like they're acting like it was a positive thing, like I was on their side and and on supporting them. No, I wasn't. I was trying to get information and I was getting the truth out. Like we got to see who Paul really was. And a lot of people changed their mind. So it's like, how are you saying that? Like it was quite the opposite. I didn't bring out a positive thing with Paul, like make it look positive at all. Did the opposite. I brought the truth out, and the truth was the opposite. It was just, I think, because I was talking to baby girl that people thought that, but how do we use it's like, how do you get information if you don't talk to the person? And how do you continue to talk and get information if you're being a jerk to them and threatening them and saying you saw, you know what I'm saying? You have to build the trust, you have to be respectful, you have to be nice. You don't have to be fake. And I wasn't fake, but you have to be nice. Um, and you have to somewhat like build some kind of trust in a way. So you could get answers. So you just have to be nice, you know? Just because you're being nice to somebody doesn't mean you like them or that you agree with them or you know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like I was being fake. I don't feel like I was uh promoting them. I feel like I was just getting answers. Um and yeah, and we did. We got a lot of answers with everything. And remember, originally, for the first a couple weeks talking to her, we were trying to get an interview with Paul. Do you remember? I think she played me on that, where she pretended like, "We'll see, what maybe we might do the interview with you." Um, and it could have been doable. He could have called and did a live interview right there on put it on speaker or I'm trying to think if there. Yeah, because I think he was able to do because he was able to do video calls. She just never I don't think she ever ended up doing a video call because she was too nervous with him. I don't think he ever actually did he s no, I don't think he did, right? I don't think they ended up doing a video call because I think I asked her that. But anyway, so remember at first there was like I thought that there was a possibility that I was gonna be able to interview him, like, on a live stream. Um, or her about him. And she kept that open, like, well, we'll see how, like, almost like, see how it goes or how you treat me. But I would have been nice anyway. I mean, you got to be to interview somebody or to get answers, you got to be nice anyway. But yeah, for a few weeks, I was hopeful that maybe I'd get to interview him. Anybody would in my field would have wanted it. Court TV. You don't think Brian Anton, if he got to interview him, or Vinny, or you know what I'm saying? They would have wanted to interview him. or even they would even want to interview the fiance. You know what I'm saying? They interview people, fiance, and a lot of people are more prone to like, oh, saying yes to somebody like, oh, court TV or but of course they would. But like, are people complaining to them? Oh, you're just giving them a platform, court TV, or if they do like a documentary or Netflix. I guess. Oh, you guys, guess what? Netflix is doing a documentary on that case. They reached out somebody that is the who is she? What does she call herself? She reached out to me. Hold on. I'm not going to say her name, but I want to get what she's from a certain production company, I think. Let me see something. Hold on. Um, hold on. Trying to find it. Where? Hold on. I'm trying to put in a keyword to find the email. I don't think I would have erased it. Hold on 1 second. Where is it? I don't know, but it was somebody that's doing a series through Netflix, and she works for the people. Why can't I find the freaking email? Um, just give me 1 second because it's gonna bother me. You know me. If I would I have to find it if it's doable. I think it's this. Okay, here. She said she's from Orchard Studios in London. She's a documentary executive. They are preparing to go into production with a three-part series for Netflix on the murder of Timothy Ferguson. So she basically reached out to me because she reached out to me for contact information, trying to get a hold of, she was actually trying to get a hold of Holly, Adam's best friend, and she couldn't get a hold of her, and she knew that I, had contacts. And she's like, "Can you help me? Can you text her or wait, what did she say? Basically, can you help me get in touch with her?" And I did. So, and then she says that she's like, yeah, she goes, how did her last thing is she said she knows that I covered it in depth, and she might reach out to me for the documentary. How did she word it? She said, appreciate your help, would potentially love your involvement in the project if you'd be open to it. We're likely to go into production over the next few weeks or sometimes toward the end of next year, most likely. So yeah, I don't know. Either way, but I helped her get in touch with somebody. So I have a feeling that she might even ask for help for, other people because I was in touch with a lot of the people. So like them, case in point, they're gonna talk to different people that knew them and associated with them. Is that giving them a platform? No. People are funny how they look at things. If they don't like you, they'll like view it like that, but yet they're probably the first to watch documentaries. Documentary. Oh my god, I can't even say that word right now. See, case in point, when I try, there's some words I can't say sometimes, but Lifetime movies, Netflix series, trials, court TV interviews. It's just like it's the same difference, but like just because like I'm like a small independent person that's doing it to myself, it looks like, you know what I'm saying? They view it different, but it's like, wow, it's actually, I feel like it's almost like it should be more. You would think they would more think that on like a big corporation that's just, you know what I'm saying? But it's like they like to pick on the little guys that are just small. People, I don't know. It's just people that don't like me. I don't know why I'm rambling. Sorry, guys. I'm just rambling. I should just quit this live before I turn it into a stupid ramble session. Um, oh yeah. That was hilarious because he's like the same age as her. Oh my god. And I feel bad. I should be saying it because I don't want to bring that drama back. I hope that she doesn't reach out or cause any problems because I'm bringing her up. I don't want any problems. It's just that was very stressful, probably for all of us. It was just, you know, I feel like I was caught in the middle. That's why I was like, it was just smart for us just to cut it off. Is like, but it's crazy because as soon as I did, like, then people are still asking questions. Hey, can you ask baby girl this? It was like, nope, not gonna be that middleman. At least in that situation. Because it was just too much. Plus, I got everything that I was gonna get information wise. Like I said, she don't talk to him anymore. Um, what's an Australian sport? I was saying sift ball documentary. Oh my god, see documentary. I couldn't say it in that moment. Yay! Thank you, Callie loves softball. I have a question. Do you think there's something wrong with me that that happens? I don't think so because I remember a couple years ago I was talking, I think to Amanda. I feel like I talked to a couple different creators about it. I think one of them was Amanda, and I feel like they said, "No, that happens to me too." So I hope not. It's like, "Hope there's nothing wrong with my brain, like why that happens." Because 'Cause it'll be like, oh, like one I feel like every live there'll be one word I can't say right, but normally every other million time I say it fine. Like documentary, I say how many times have I said that word? I couldn't say that right then. But I know other people said they do the same thing, so hopefully that's not a sign of anything. Really? Okay. That makes me feel better, Kim. Alright, I do wanna keep this under 2 hours. I was gonna keep it at an hour and a half, but because I do want it to be clickable. I feel like that was good information. You know what? Should I clip out the chunk I talked about that and do a pre-record? That's what I'll do, so I don't have to rush. I'm gonna do that. Um, because I think it's, people that follow this case, I feel like they'd wanna hear the beginning of the live for sure. Um, yeah. Yeah, so if you see that pre-record out, that I might do that. I might just take a part of the live out. Not out of the live, wait. See, sometimes I say that people think I mean something else. I might just I'm gonna, this will be uploaded, but then I'll edit the part where I talk about the interview and then re-upload that as a pre-record. Because that'll probably only be like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. For people, there's some people that don't like the live stream setup. So instead of, even if they wanna know the information, they're like 2 hours and live, and so they won't click on it. But I want them to because I think it's important. Oh, look, he's here. Hey, you made it. What did you think? How to pronounce, oh, good, Megsy, me too. Oh, thanks for stopping in, and thanks for answering the questions. No, that's, Frederick Frisker, that's Shonda's fiance right there. Or husband, what would you rather call? I know, like, legally, you said you consider yourselves married, but legally, you're not. I don't know if to call your fiance or husband, but, um, so question. No, I don't wanna put you on the spot, but this one's a really easy question if you can answer it. Um, does she talk to, like, her or any of her family, do you know? Only if you wanna answer, maybe I should just ask you offline. I don't wanna put you on the spot, I'm sorry. Um, good, okay, good. Well, I was saying, why did you think I meant you when I said Fritz? I'm confused. Your name doesn't even sound like that. You said you thought you meant me? You gotta explain what you're talking I eh, what did I say exactly? I'm trying to remember what I said that you would have thought I meant you. You're silly. Um, okay. Patty. The receipts? I don't why don't I understand what you mean, Patty? You and Patty gave to us? What I don't know what that means. Wait, what does the fiance think about the receipts that you and Patty gave that to us? Thank you. I don't understand the question. Patty, you and or the receipts you and Patty gave that to us. Yeah, you have to explain. I don't know why I'm not following what that means. Um, oh, okay. But Austin, you've been here though. So why would I be talking about you? Okay. Well, Fritz, though, but when I'm trying to talk about like who you are as far as, the case though, when we're talking about Shonda, that's all. But um, I don't know, I'll put them up, but I don't know. Yeah, White Wolfie, yeah. There, are you gonna watch it from the beginning? I know the answer to that, Kim. No, he said no. He hasn't talked to him, but talked to her, but I'll let him answer if he wants. Sorry, I shouldn't answer for somebody. Well, no, yeah, if I asked it since I was relaying what he was saying, I'm allowed to do that. Oh my god, I am rambling. Oh, I thought you were okay, sorry. I always do that when people are in chat and I think I'm out of context. I think people are talking to me. Um, all right, well, so Mama Mia asked this, or wait, oh, and then he said no, not really. Oh wait, why can't I click on the right thing? Oh, it's good to see you, Elvin. And yeah, I'll respond to the collector. Did I? Yeah, I answered you when you said that. Yeah, I'll have to see. He sent me the interview that he had done with another channel. I watched that. Did you watch that? Well, that is a good question. But Justin Retro Stuff TV show channel. Hey. So I think this is the answer to that question. LW, why not? Oh yeah, he did say LW, why not? Okay. Well, thanks for answering more questions. Oh, you don't know who shot? Did you? The case, it was Shanda VanderArk on Paul Ferguson case. If you're interested, I have a really big playlist on that case. I covered it pretty in depth for a few months. I was probably like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months maybe. Um, but ever from the trial till trying to think when I stopped really covering, but I always cover the updates. And Fritz, that's a good question. Are you gonna be watching her hearing that's gonna be, I think, November 30th? What do you think of that? That'll be interesting. Does she talk about that or is she worried about that? Like, does she think she's gonna get a retrial? Like, what's her hope for that? I wonder. Huh. That is a question I would be interested in because, everybody appeals. I mean, you have nothing to lose. It's a life sentence. Of course, you want to try, but I just wonder if, like, is she really hopeful that she's actually going to get a new trial? And he says, no, I never talked to anyone in jail before. Um, yeah, I know she's not going to be okay with doing it with me because I don't think she likes me from when I did released her jail calls. Okay. Okay. That's fair enough. So if you watch the beginning of it, he did answer that, well, kind of, and he can elaborate on it, but he had said that he's gonna try. He had a couple dates set, but he couldn't make it there. The one, his car trouble, and the second one, he said the chaplain canceled it, right? That's the one I wanted. You said the chaplain croaked on, or how you worded it, and I wasn't sure exactly what you meant on that. Um, but he said he's gonna try to get up there before the bad weather, but I don't think he picked a date, but I'll let him elaborate if he wants. But so it might be what, before the end of the year? That's what, yeah, to get the funds to make it up there. Wait, Mamma Mia, are you referring to like if he does an interview? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. What did Butthole Surfers? Is that a band? Your band name alone suggests you might be an outsider. No, no, I wonder, did any of the Butthole Surfers, for instance, get married? Is Butthole Surfers a band or something? I don't even know. Hmm. Okay, that's what I thought you were saying, that she canceled it. Okay. And that she wasn't helpful. Yeah. All right. Um, no, that's what it has to be physically there, Kim, which he'll answer, but I'm just helping elaborate to what he told me. That's why they aren't yet, because he hasn't been able to get there physically in person to get married. But if he wants to even elaborate on that, but yeah, they went, what he said, June 24th, he had a date for the marriage, right? And then you couldn't make it, your car went out, before you made it there, and then the chaplain canceled the other 2 dates. So, oh, okay. I love, etcetera, it's government. I never wanted it in my personal life, and the government certainly never approved of my lifestyle. There wasn't even an option of getting married the way that I wanted to. Huh. Yeah, I was saying, I guess it's the band. They said it. Uh, LW asked if butthole surfers ever got married or something, I guess. Oh, okay, I see. Uh, yeah, how many hours is it? I'm trying to think. That would be quite a drive. I guess it's over 20 hours, right? To drive there? I'll let him answer. Sorry, I'm just trying to fill it in, and then he could elaborate, but ACF says, "Why do you like her, and what are your common interests?" Um, and then Drunky the Bear, that's the one that what I was responding to you, but I'm not sure exactly. Yes. Oh, cool. Yeah, I was 5 wait, hold on, let me think. Yeah, I'd be 5 years old in '86. Oh, it's only 9 or 10? Why was I thinking it was farther? Okay. Oh, I was thinking it was, like, over 20. Then okay. That's definitely more doable. I know, I feel bad. I feel like, I don't want you to get overwhelmed. There are a lot of questions. Um, well, just because originally you said you didn't want but hey, it's up to you if you wanna keep answering. Um, I can't think of any more questions, but they're sure thinking of some, so chat, you guys always do. So I always like, "Come up with some questions if I'm, like, an interview coming up, help me." Um, that is a good question. I didn't ask him that. That will it will be her 3rd too, yep. Well, I think Kim Alper I think you I don't think you lose that right. Even people on death row can get married, right? Pretty sure. I think anybody can. Fair enough. Yeah. I never, I feel like I've never heard anybody being denied that right. Um, now not all prisons let, like, physical, contact, but right? I don't th no, because or is it just depending on your behavior? Because you know how I know Wade right now can't, but, like, he has the option if he was good that he would be able to. So wait a minute. I'm gonna look that up. Now I'm curious. Because 'cause I'll look it up while you guys are asking and answering questions here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I looked up her specific prison, just I wanted to see. So where she's at, you have limited physical contact at visit, such as a brief hug and kiss at the beginning and end of the visit. Yep, I've read it out on a lot of them where it says at the beginning and end, you get a kiss, and a brief hug and holding hands during the visit. So this is Fritz, what you would get. This is at her prison. Um, so you could basically get 2 kisses at the beginning and end, you get a hug, and you could hold hands. Um, all physical contact is subject to visiting rules, and visitors inmates must have appropriately physical contact. Brief embraces, kisses, and handshakes are permitted at the beginning and end of visit. Visitors and inmates are also allowed to hold hands during the visit. Behavior rules. Visitors and inmates must act appropriately, and visiting room officer can require visitors to leave if behavior is not proper. Consequences. Inappropriate behavior can result in a visitor being required to leave. Um, where's my chair? No conjugal visits there. It's pretty more rare that they have the conjugal visits, huh? I feel like every recent one I've looked up on the cases I've covered, it says no. Um, I guess I could just Google which prisons allow it. Oh, interesting. Anyway, Mama Mia says, Fritz, I honestly wish you the best. Please be cautious and take it slowly, but good luck. Um, LOL. Besides Wade White Wolf, yes. um, no, I mean they don't lose that right, Kim. But you're right. I guess they do lose. Well, they lose freedom, like some of their freedoms, but yeah. But yeah, I've never heard anybody be denied marriage. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's true. Well, that's true, Drunky Bear. They can't get denied because of restrictions, like if they're, probably like misbehaving and all these disciplinary. And remember, they could be restricted from marrying certain people because remember, Wade had to get permission to marry Jesse, and because that whole thing where what was the letter that there was something one of the letters got I can't remember with Jesse. What was that? I don't was he allowed to marry Jesse? But remember Jeanette then? Even recently, he was then trying to marry her, right? If I'm remembering right. But because she was on like a restriction where he couldn't even talk to her for months. So I guess it just depends. But in general, you're allowed to get married. But of course, if there's an issue with somebody, they could deny you. Oh, Crystal, what's the question? Let me ask it. You said, oh, well, it's probably not that easy to answer, but Fritz says everyone deserves forgiveness and love at least that's supposedly according to the tenets of Christianity, not that I'm a Bible thumper. Um, Crystal says I understand forgiveness. Mama Mia says do Paul and Shonda communicate? Wait, what? That was my mom's rules when I started dating at 12 too. Wait, what rules? Saying? Explain what you mean. White Wolfie says you can get married in prison. Sheena Hooper got married in prison. Oh yeah, when Menendez brother, Eric, or they both got married. Didn't Eric get a divorce and then was one of them and then maybe a married to a second one? Why am I thinking the first one they even got divorced and then I don't know, but yeah, there's didn't Ted Bundy get married when he was in prison? I don't know, but yeah, there's multiple people. A lot of people get married in prison. You can't marry another inmate, I'm pretty sure, because I don't think you're not allowed to have any communication with any yeah. So it would have to be there could be restrictions on people you could marry, but and Fritz is responding to, I guess, a question you asked. Oh, yeah, the question about, her and Paul communicating. He says, "No, she doesn't have a family other than me at the moment." Allsane, what did you say? Oh, so are you joking? What was the rules though, Allsane? You gotta tell me. Um, I see. LW says conjugal visits would be a good reason if you get married. So if that was a rule, like you have to be married for a conjugal visit, I don't think that that is, but I could be wrong. Um, can you have those? And if you're not married, can you? And if you're same sex, can you? And threesome, I doubt they're gonna let a threesome, but I would guess same sex they probably would allow. I don't know though. Let's see. I could look it up. Let me look it up while you guys are chatting. Those are some good questions though, just in general, LW. Um, I accidentally, hold on. I should just do it on my computer, huh? I like typing faster than my fingers. No. So I asked if conjugal visits were mandatory, or was it mandatory for you to be married to have conjugal visits in prison? They says, no, you do not always have to be married for conjugal visits, but it is the most common requirement. Oh, okay. It's the most common requirement, but not always. Many programs require a legal spouse or registered domestic partner, and proof of the relationship is usually necessary. Okay. In some cases, a program might allow a visitor who is a de facto spouse or partner if a standing relationship can be proven through regular visitation, phone calls, and mail, according to a Quora post. Well, that's according to a Quora post, that last part. Um, okay, that's interesting. But it does say the requirements can vary between states and individual facilities. Itchy, I'm getting my allergy itchy face, nose, and ears. Okay, let me ask you about the same sex. So that's a good question. Okay, so let's see. Yes. Oh, it says, okay, I asked about the same sex. It says, yes, some states allow same sex conjugal visits. California and New York are among the states that permit them, provided the couple is legally married or registered as domestic partners before the prisoner was incarcerated. Oh, before? Okay. But what about after? Washington and Connecticut allows Washington and Connecticut also allow some form of extended family visits, but eligibility and specific rules can be strict, often depending on the prisoner's custody level and the visitor's relationship to the inmate. That's crazy though that you have to be married before though for a little while. I mean, not all of them, obviously, just some because their family visit program is focused on visits with children, and the incarcerated parent must have their child attend. It may not be considered a traditional conjugal visit. In most states, the programs, the relationship must have been established before the inmate's incarceration. Talking about for conjugal visits. Wow. Many states have strict criteria for who can participate, such as custody level, criminal history, and other factors. But it says some states have replaced the term conjugal visit with extended family visitation to include other family members like parents and children. So obviously it doesn't mean one. Okay. Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. Um, right, probably LW. Oh, it was during his trial. Okay. I thought that I was thinking, but the jail or after he was there, but during his trial. Well, yeah, because he would already been in jail during his trial. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay. So yeah, there you go. I mean, I guess that would be before he was a convicted murderer, but um hey, Jess does my hair. What is up? Thanks for coming. Yeah, Kim. Oh, I see. All saying. Fritz says, just to add, she does have roommates that like her, cellmates, as in cellmates. So how many cellmates does she have? Is she in like a uh God, I can't even think of the word. The word for it, where it's like a see, there you go, not being able to think of words. That always happens too. Is that something where like I know what it is, I just can't think of the word. I have to have you guys help me. Um, but yeah. So does she have more than one? Teen says, I think he means roommates that like her as a person. Her cellmate is cool towards her and a few others. Drunky the Bear says, Fritz Creek, my true belief is that Shonda is probably likable and smart, etc. She just was not great at being a mom, but her Christian upbringing caused her to keep trying. That was Drunky the Bear. Um, Interesting. I didn't realize that, Mamma Mia. Kim, yeah, a rigid person with no forgiveness, but I don't know what that's a response to. Um, sis says maybe her sillies are child murderers too. Yeah, do you know what well, I don't know if you feel comfortable answering that, but do you know what her cellmate was in is she in prison for murder? I wonder. And is she in prison for life? Because I mean, some of those people will be getting out. Not everybody's in there for life. Send that to Wade. Send what, all saying? Wait, what did Mommy Mia say? Because Alsane and Kim are both commenting, and I don't see it. Cookie says, experience. Dunn stayed with him for 27 years, and the amount of money I spent all those years. 3 months before he was released, he dumped me for another woman and blocked me. I was totally blindsided. 27 years. Oh my God. And then, oh, so you're talking about like somebody in prison that you were had a relationship with? Whoa, that would suck. Oh, mommy, I thought you were who are you talking about when you said that? Oh, that's what you said, threesome conjugal, you'll never know if you don't try. Uh, so Mama Mia says, "But Christian forgiveness doesn't mean denying the crime, right?" That's true, because Shonda still has not taken she still hasn't, like, at least Paul admitted what he did. Shonda still has not taken, accountability for it. Like, she's still just blaming Paul, but I guess is that how she really feels that's the thing where I can't that bothers me, that I can't I feel like for somebody to be able to, like, ask for forgiveness, don't they have to admit what they did, though? That's the thing that bothers me that she won't admit, like, that what she did, and then she just puts the blame on Paul. So that's one thing, but I don't know. I've been honest and remorse, so it would be easy to think about forgiveness. Kim says, "Thanks for explaining." Yeah, thanks for, answering some more questions. I appreciate that, because we have been wondering, ever since I stopped covering it like I was, I have been curious what's been going on. And now that she's gonna, potentially will try for a retrial, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but, we'll see. That trial was really quick. Remember, it was only, like, 3 days? Like, her and Paul were the main witnesses, and then the cops and stuff, but they were the 2 main witnesses, really. I think it was, like, 3 or 4 days, right? That's true. I was thinking the same thing. I was gonna say that, but I just that could be the reason because she's trying for a new trial. So if she did, then there would be no way to go to trial because you know what I'm saying? So that could be one reason, you're right. But still, okay, so on a legal level, I mean, I guess, but then on like a forgiveness other level, well, we'll see what happens because that'll be telling. After if she either gets denied or accepted for the trial, and then whatever happens with that, then see, maybe that is what she's holding out for. I don't know. Um, but I wonder, what do you think would have happened if she would have taken a plea? Were they offering any plea? I wonder. Like if she would have tried to like, okay, I'll admit it, won't go to trial and take some kind of plea deal. I wonder what I don't know, considering Paul still got 30 to 100 years, she probably would have still got, like, a life. No, wait, if you do a plea, you would have to offer something better than the max. So I don't know. I don't even know, maybe they weren't even offering her one because they had Paul going against her, so I don't know, but anyway, alright. Well, Fritz, thank you. I hope we didn't overwhelm you with all the questions, but thanks for coming on and answering. Um, uh, like I said, I mean, I don't know what I was just thinking. I just lost that thought. Oh, you should not be embarrassed. He should. Wait, what are you saying? Who's Joe Cookie? Oh, Cookie, the one that was, yeah, that's messed up that he did that. Wow. Have you found somebody after that? Drunky says, Fritz, it can't be easy to come on here. I respect you. We're a lot of moms in here, so it's not a place where Shonda is celebrated. That's the thing, I feel like, I disagree with him on that, and we still were able to have a conversation, and I just, like, I agree to disagree, and it was respectful, and you know what I'm saying? And it just we see it different, as far as, who's to blame in the whole thing, and, that's not a lot of people could, like, have, like, a different opinion and still be able to, communicate and do it. I don't know how to word it right, but yeah, like drunk you said, it's not easy to come on here when there are a lot of moms in here, so who threatened? Wait, I thought you were worried that she threatened you and your mom and grandmother. What are you talking about, Donna? 30 hours, my oh, see, 30 hours while he's gone, but what were you saying? Who threatened your mom, grandma, and what are you saying? Was that to me? Now you got me curious. Did I miss what yeah, wait, mugshot. Donna, what were you talking about there, though? You said, "I thought she threat." I was trying to scroll up to see what that was in reference to, but there's nothing in reference. I thought you were worried that she threatened you and your mom and grandmother. If you're talking about the baby girl, I thought I just explained. Didn't I explain how she but maybe you're not. But if you are, maybe you missed when I was explaining it about the whole when she said she called the cops and because somebody was threatening I don't know who it was, people in comments, like, just random people. Is that what you're talking about? That was the last, like, I blocked her. I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna come at, like, 11 or something," and that was kinda like the last we talked. I can't remember all the specifics, though, that was a little while ago, but I remember that because I remember I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta block her," like, I just right after that, I quit contact because 'cause I'm, like, sitting there waiting up by the door because I didn't want, like, the cops to come knocking, and then my, like, grandma and to wake up and my like, "What the heck?" And I was so confused because I was like, "How would I get in trouble for her or for the viewers?" Like, for people on a public platform, and it wasn't I almost think a lot of it wasn't that they were threatening in my comments, it was she said they were my viewers, my subscribers, which I don't know how she know who's actually subscribed, but my subscribers. And then I think on Reddit and other platforms, they were threatening her too. So I think it was like more that, but like she knew there were people that watched me, but it was like, that's not how that works. So I don't know if she actually really went to the cops. And then in reality, the cops are probably like, well, we can't really do anything. Cause I mean, she's not liable for what people write on public platforms. But, so I still don't know if she ever really went to the cops or she was just trying to scare me. I'm not sure, but it was just like, "Whoa, that's kinda messed up because I never threatened you, I was actually nice to her." But is that what you're referring to? I'm just you got me curious. Um, denial ain't just a river, agent. I prefer dogs or creepy people that slow down the car just slow. Oh, drunky the very yes. Uh, yeah, I thought there was a possibility that he was gonna get some kind of charge, not like a murder charge, but for him giving her Timothy knowing, like, legally she should not have happened. I don't even know what the charge would be for that, but I was, like, thinking there's a possibility. I feel like there's a lot of people thinking that, but I think it would have probably happened by now. I don't know, though. I don't know what even that charge would be, what it would be called or whatever, but yeah. He probably was scared, I mean, not knowing if it was because yeah, because legally, like, that's legally, he was not and he should have known that Shonda was not legally allowed to have him. You know, he would have argued saying, "Well, I didn't realize that, I didn't know, I didn't understand that." So, I don't know. I'm not saying that he did, I'm saying, you know, he would have tried to do that, but I mean, I don't think if they went through with those charges, that wouldn't fly. It'd be like, "Well" but I don't know what it would be. I have to look that up, what that charge would be. Oh, okay, child endangerment with bodily injury. Hmm, okay. Yeah, I guess that yeah, that makes sense, child endangerment, okay. Um, that's a good point, yeah, so LW says if Shonda accepted the reason she lost her kids in the first place, she wouldn't have taken them. She still can accept those reasons without where's the rest of your comment? Or is it just, like, without Donna, where did you go, though? You never answered me. I think you're in and out, so I think you probably were talking about that, but you missed when I was explaining it maybe? And I think you're talking about I think there was a, man, it's been so long, I forget, though, the specifics, but I think right before that, there was something that there like a there was something that there was a comment that was made or something to me. I don't even remember, but that's how it started, and then I think I confronted her, but I don't know if I'm remembering right, I feel like it wasn't clear who it was from, but I thought it was from her or something. Man, I can't remember. I can't remember what it said, but then after that, I think the next day or later on that night is then when she the whole thing about yeah, I think it was, it kinda, like, got turned around on the then it was my subscribers, that's how she worded it, "My subscribers were threatening her." Um, I don't even remember the specifics, but Donna's probably not even here when I'm explaining it. Come on, Donna, where are you? Anyway, um, he needs to function. Mr. Ahmed, he needed just to function. Who, Mamma Mia? Oh, says Timothy was also on a lot of meds for his condition. She made him go cold turkey because she had no insurance. Very scary for Timothy and dangerous. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like it probably would have helped, you know, obviously it would have helped his condition and it would have made him more uh easier to you know what I'm saying? Because I know oh, I don't want to word this wrong with people taking it the wrong way. Because if he needed to be on him, you know, he should have been. But that's the thing, like that's why I feel like she did know that she wasn't allowed to have him because the fact that she wasn't able to go get him insurance or get the meds because and she couldn't, like, even if she wanted to, they couldn't, like, transfer, "Oh, well, just, like, let me do it because now I have them." So she that's why I think she had to have known legally she had no way to get it, hence why she couldn't get his meds or, healthcare or anything. Um, but that's the thing I don't know. Did she want him to be on the medicine or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if she would have had let's say she had, um, somehow she was able to get his meds, would she still have taken him off of that or not? What do you guys think? Or would she have kept him on there because he would have been, it would have helped him, like, his behavior as far as, the autism? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if she took him off like, well, I know she took him off, she couldn't have the choice, but I don't know if she would have done that anyway. Am I making sense? What do you guys think? Yeah, that's a good way to word it. I was trying to word it in a way where people wouldn't twist it and make me feel like I was saying, like, that it was Timothy's fault or anything like that, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to make sure I worded it in a way where I wasn't coming across that way because that's not what I meant. But sometimes people need medicine, so yeah, I remember Fritz did say something about how, she was kinda, like, anti, vaccine or so maybe her not medicating him, she would have probably done that anyway, even though she didn't have a choice. But that's the thing, it would have helped, but she wouldn't have been able to anyway because she didn't legally have access to get a medical stuff anyway, so yeah, either way, so it wouldn't hmm, yeah, I don't know. I should end this because now I'm just, like, not uh, I'm rambling on a little bit and not wording things right. Yeah, that's what I wonder if she would've, even though if she is, like, anti, vax or meds or whatever, if she would've if she was able to. But bottom line is, I mean, she wasn't able to because she shouldn't have had them, so I don't know. But yeah, soon I'll try to reach out to Shauna's sister. I'll try to do it. I can't promise I'll do it like this week or anything, but I'll try to reach out to her and before maybe before the Shonda's hearing on the 30th and see if she can answer any questions. I know. I know Tina Beta. Anyway, well, this went pretty good though. I feel like we got all the extra questions answered, right? So I'm glad he stopped in because I can't think of any. Is there anything else that you could think of? Like, I think we asked them all. I mean, as time goes on, there might be, as far as ones that he could answer. I guess that there's one more I could think of. If she still well, he did stress that she is the only one, or he is the only one she talks to. But her friend Ashley, the one that was her contact, if she ever talks about her, or does she talk to her anymore? And what happened between her and Shonda if she doesn't? 'Cause they were like, that was her only support at first. Remember, she none of family, nobody. She had nobody, but she had her, so she made her her point of contact, emergency contact. It was her old law school buddy, so I just wonder if she ever mentions her to him and if she still talks to him or her. That'd be a question. Oh, good night, Tina. You think, Mr. M? Um, I will let me share if you guys wanna check out his band again, I'm gonna share his link, and, where's his I can't believe I exited out of all the link I had every oh, here it is. If anybody wants to help, there's a GoFundMe. Um, I mean, he did take the time to answer some questions, and I feel like he, um, was very, generous with answering everything. Like, I feel like he at least answered to me everything I asked, so, I mean, um, in case in the future, we might have other questions, you never know what could come about. Like, what if she does get a new trial? That'd be interesting to rewatch it. Like, I'm sure she would I wonder if she got a new trial, if they would bring Paul up again, if the prosecution would bring Paul as a witness again. And I wonder if her new, counsel would have her go up again. I mean, I'm sure he'd watch the first one and see if it was like, is that smart to have her up again? But really, I feel like they would probably have to because they would I mean, what would their defense be? I don't think she'll get a new one, but there's always a small possibility. Ineffective counsel, I actually think her counsel did really good. Like, I believed that he really, thought she was innocent and that he really was I thought he did a pretty good job of her defense because I was surprised when he did that interview after saying how it was, like, the most horrible case that he's seen. He kept that all like, he sold it as far as, like, thinking he's fighting for her. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what points they're gonna bring up. I'm trying to think, like, did he have anything like, question no, that wouldn't be it, because I was gonna ask, do you think they could bring up the interview after? But no, because that would be after he already represented her, right? With him basically saying it was the most horrible case he saw, and he was insinuating, like, that she was guilty. I feel like with whatever he said, I feel like we all got that same, like, okay, he's saying, wow, he's saying he knew. I mean, he saw what we all, how we all saw it. I feel like, right? Trying to think how he worded it, but I don't think you could be judged on that because that's after the fact. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Um, that's a good question, LW. I can't believe I didn't think of that question. Oh, I have the answer to one of those, but the whole thing proposed. Yes, he did get a ring. I did answer that if you look at the beginning. So, she has an engagement ring, and what happens is you're not allowed to send stuff to them in that way. Like, I think you could send them books, but you can't send them, like, he said he tried to send her like was it Alabama uh a sweatshirt, a hoodie or something, but they wouldn't you can't. It has to be like from their commissary or whatever they have, right? So what he said is for the engagement ring, he sent her money and her cellmate made her engagement ring. For their wedding rings, he's got them. He's got her a wedding ring that she liked. So when he goes and marries her in person, he'll bring it up. So yes, but as far as who proposed, I don't know. He would probably have answered it if he was still in here. Um, I feel like I don't think I think he would answer that question, but I can't believe I didn't even think of that. Oh my god, that's probably like the most like obvious question. Like, okay, so who proposed? Good question. I'm gonna write that down and see if he wants to answer it. Um, and if you guys weren't here earlier, I explained because I went and looked it up because for some reason I missed it when we were watching the hearing. I was confused because I was like, I thought the judge denied the retrial. So what he denied is her competency. She tried to get a retrial for two reasons: the competency to stand trial, like she wasn't competent to stand trial, and ineffective counsel. He denied her competency, and he gave reasons why. So he denied that reason, but the ineffective counsel on November 30th at 9 a.m. There'll be a hearing talking about that. I don't know if there'll be more than one hearing about it. Uh, and she has to be there in person for that. So, like I said, come watch it with me. um, I'm sure there'll be cameras in the court. If they had cameras for that other hearing, it's called a Gunther hearing or Ginther hearing or whatever. I couldn't tell if they were saying Ginther or Gun. Let me look it up. If it was Ginther or Gunther, but that's what it is. That's what November 30th will be. Ginther. It's Ginther. Yep. Evidentiary hearing on defendant's motion for a new trial claiming they received ineffective assistance at counsel. So it's an evidentiary hearing. So we will hear why she thinks that probably on November 30th then. Um, so that'll be interesting. Hold on, let me see. Something. So I asked how long will the Ginther hearing be in? It says for simple matters, hearings might be brief. But let me take the comment down. Hold on. Um, possibly concluding within hours. And it says, in contrast, complex legal disputes can extend much longer, sometimes spanning several days or weeks. So it just depends. So yeah. Anyway, well, thanks for hanging out. Oh, did he get one? You know what? When I was talking about the ring, that was going to be my question in my head when I was talking on the phone. And I think we got sidetracked, and I think it led into another area. Because I meant to ask that. I did. Shoot. If he had one, I'll ask him who proposed and who, but did Fritz get a ring? Okay. Yeah. I'll see. Who's lonely? I'm lonely? Wait, well, what did it say? Do you think she's preying on vulnerability, people on the outside? He said they were both alone in life. Wouldn't you want to be with someone you could be with for companionship the rest of your life if you're lonely? Sorry, I had to, this stuff's so good. It's like I love the way it feels. It's Burt's Bee is medicated, so it's all like uh what's that word? Like it just feels all tingly. Mm. Anyway, Well, I went trick or treating with my niece yesterday, and it was my brother's birthday, and they live in Columbus, but she goes this weekend. She goes to her so it's my brother's wife's parents' house because they do it up, dude. We had it today, and barely anybody in our neighborhood. But last night, it's like everybody's out with their little portable fireplaces, these cool little fireplaces. Everybody's sitting out barbecuing. They're all in the front, like, uh, driveway and stuff, handing out candy. It's like a big party in the neighborhood. It's like, man, I remember when I was younger too, like, it was like there was a bunch of people, and maybe not quite like that, but there was all kinds of kids trick or treating. And then this neighborhood, there's nobody. And how weird, this is crazy. So we had a bowl of candy out. We just set it out because I mean, there's barely anybody. So we have like the ring camera, right? So I had went out there, and my mom had went out there at one point, and there was like this bucket was still full, right? And then the last time I went out, there was only like maybe like 20 pieces or 15 or whatever, and there was like three kids that came. I was like, take a bunch. So they took a bunch, so there was only a few left, right? So we went back on a ring because we're like, we didn't hear that much. Like, wonder, how did they go so quick? And it makes a noise and ring. My mom has it on hers. I have mine off. We'll make a noise when, somebody's here. It activates it. And where it was at, it should have been activated. So we went back to look just to see how many people. We're like, must have been much more people than we thought. So we see when, my mom moved the table. She said when she moved it, because my brother had to leave, she said it was like basically full. And then we see me going out there, or then we see a group of kids coming and getting it, right? That was before my mom went out there. She said it was full. And then I had went out there, and it was like you could tell maybe a couple was taken out. And then the next time, it was when I went out there, that last time when I went out there, and there was some kids coming up as soon as I went out, and they said I let them. They took like 5 or whatever each because it was like almost we had 15 minutes left. And just get rid of it, right? So we're like, where did the rest of the candy in between? Because the other group, there was only 2 groups from the ring. Okay, the other group, we both went out and saw the bowl, and it was still basically full, so they didn't take it all. When I went out for that other group, it was already almost gone, and there's no in between people. And my mom was like, "Well, wonder if they, like, snuck by," and I made a joke. I'm like, "Maybe somebody was dressed up as a ghost, so they didn't activate it." And she laughed, but, like, the ring, it would be odd. It's in a spot where it would definitely activate and record, even if a car drives by, it records. Like, where did that candy go? There's nobody up taking it, and it's gone. Like, it's so weird, we cannot figure it out. And we're trying to figure out, is there any way somebody could sneak and try to get it? But they would really have to try. And my mom was like, "Well, maybe somebody saw where the camera was, and they were able to somehow." I don't know. It's crazy. We're, like, mind blown, like, it does not make sense. We don't care because we don't want any because it's more tempting. Like, I don't want it. We want it all to be gone, but, like, we were just curious because I told my mom, I was like, somebody on Ring in a different neighborhood, they said, because they had a Ring, and I saw like a notification come up, and it said, the first trick-or-treaters of the day took the whole bucket. And they said, and the parents were taking it too because they were watching on the Ring, and they said the parents were loading up their pockets, they took it all. So I made a joke. I'm like, or I didn't make a joke, I just told my mom about it. And then so that's why we're like, oh, let's look on the Ring and see how many people. Plus, we wanted to know how many people came, um, just to see where it all went. And no, I don't know. Oh, wait. But teen, here's the thing. We were looking through the whole thing. So it wasn't that we were just, like, looking through how many times, we were going through all the activations to see. So we would scroll through, like, let's say this is activated to see how many kids came. Does that make sense? So it should still be on the recording, right? It would be on the end of it, but we were scrolling through the whole thing 'cause we were so confused, we scrolled through it like a bunch, like, "Wait, so we went" does that make sense? Like, we went through all the recorded parts. We didn't just, like, see, "Oh, this one," and just look at the beginning. We actually went through them. So, I mean, it would still be recording though, right? I get what you're saying, and it would be at the end if we just looked at the beginning, but it would still be on the end of it then, and it wasn't. It's so weird. They had to have somehow not tripped it where it's not recording. However, whoever took it, it's not on any of the video. Does that make sense? Oh, does it just record? I don't know. I don't think. No, I don't think it only records. Wait, how would that work? Hold on. So you're saying if it's triggered, then maybe it would stay on not record, maybe? I don't know. I mean, not that I know of. Because what good would that do? If it just, like, stops recording, if but I don't know. I doubt it. As if somehow it's on a setting and it just doesn't record, but that's the whole thing. Somehow, somebody got it without it recording. I don't know. And like I said, it's not that we care, but it's like it's just a mystery, like, what the heck happened? So weird. Anyway, alright, guys, well, thank you. Um, like I said, my next live, I might do that Wade one, so people I know there's some people that get mad when I cover Wade, and, but there's just something interesting that I wanna share, I feel like, since, I mean, it was one of my big cases that I covered, so if there's any, like, interesting things that pop up, I feel like it's worth doing it, and plus, since, I'm getting all the kiosk, I don't like, and not do any of it on YouTube. I at least wanna do maybe a couple videos on YouTube, sharing a little bit of it, if there's some interesting things just to, since it was one of the YouTube cases, but, overall, it's better to share most of it on, Patreon for a lot of reasons, but yeah, I was looking into, David. What the heck? There's not really anything. What is going on? Like, is he gonna get away? I shouldn't say he is. Is somebody gonna get away with murder? I think what's happening is they're just waiting for the toxicology to make an arrest. But if that toxicology comes back and it's not an overdose, and there's, even if it is an overdose, it doesn't mean it still could be. But if it's not an overdose and then there's no arrest after that, but I do think that's what they're waiting. They're not gonna make an arrest before that comes back because they don't know what to charge yet. So, until that comes back, they're not gonna do it. As long as they have an eye on him or whoever their lead is, make sure they don't leave the country or whatever. Yeah, I feel like they almost have to wait to see, because if it does come back with like an amount that could be a OD, they have to be careful how what they're going to charge, because even if they do still feel like it was like maybe somebody did it intentional, like somebody else made her do it or something, they would need to really make sure they have the right proof, and in order to get that kind of proof, they have to have the results first. You know what I'm saying? And then if it's not, then they would have to have that, because that'd be stupid. I think it would be stupid to not wait till that comes back. So I do get that, but I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Um, didn't know what I was saying. Oh, Skittles be long. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep this under 3 hour. Oh my God, it's 3 hours. Okay, I'm gonna make a pre-record. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you guys in a little bit, or next live. Bye.